Welcome to the Dublin Fighting Irish football show, initial show of the year. I'm here with head coach and athletic director of Dublin High School, Roger Holmes. Coach, looking forward to a great season this year. Got a lot of excitement around the school. School started this week. A lot of excitement on the practice field. New renovations to the Shamrock Bowl that we'll talk about shortly. Glad to have TV 35 back in here. Stan Smith, who I've been in for 3 or 4 years, sitting in for him, and the network's talked with him, and you've talked with him, and tell us what Coach Smith's had to say.
Well, you know, if there's anybody that bleeds green and gold, it's Stan Smith, and Stan's gone through some health issues. We feel good that he's on his way to recovery, and I mean, he went through some real serious things. And I bumped into Stan, 2 weeks ago, maybe
Right.
3 weeks ago. He was out at a Dudley Little League baseball game watching his grandson play, and I went over and talked with him. It was glad that I was just ecstatic to see Stan, and he looked pretty good. And you know, you and I talked about it, and I told Stan, said, now look,
You almost hurt my feelings.
in the MLB or pro football, if a starter gets hurt,
Right?
he don't lose his job automatically. And I told Stan, you know, look, buddy, if you want to come back and help us with this TV show or fill in or just show up, we'd be more than happy to have Stan being a part of this show, because he did it from the time I got here till he had his sickness, and just a wonderful person. And those loyalties, you know, within our program, they run very, very deep.
They mean something to us all.
We've got so many individuals in this community that kind of stand off in the back, but when you need them, if you give them a call, they're going to do what they can to help Dublin football. And Stan obviously was one of those, so he's doing great. Now, want to pass along some sad news for our Dublin Irish folks, as I received a phone call yesterday that one of the Dublin Touchdown Club presidents since I've been here, and a gentleman that didn't live in Dublin, but he was Dublin through and through, and that's Mr. Quincy Simpson.
Drove 30 miles to our meetings every Monday.
Showed up every Monday night, and like I said, didn't have a kid in the program, and jumped in, was our Touchdown Club president. Everybody loved Quincy. And I talked to his wife on Saturday evening. I didn't know he was in the hospital at that time, and I called and no one answered. And I was actually reaching out to him about his chairback seating and those type things. And she told me that Quincy was in the hospital and he wasn't doing very well, and said that his comment was, I've got to get the feeling better because they're fixing to start football season. And but we lost Quincy yesterday. That's very sad. And then I'll let you kind of report on the news that we also received that goes back in the Dublin history.
Got word last night from a good friend up in Macon, Atlanta area, that Coach Tom Simonton passed away. Coach Simonton was here back in the 70s, early 70s, 73 to 78, back during my day, Barry Walker's day, Mike Haywood's day, some of those guys. And Coach Simonton was a good man. He was good for Dublin. He was good for Dublin football. He was good for this community, and played well. Had some good teams. I think he was. Coach and I looked it up a while ago. He had 40 wins and 22 losses in 5 seasons while he was here at Dublin High School. And we're sorry and sad to pass that news along. Coach Simonton meant a lot to a lot of the folks that are going to be watching this show tonight, I'm sure.
Yep.
Coach. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
Hey, I'm Tom Dominy with Dublin with Nelson, and we're a full-service wholesaler specializing in plumbing, irrigation, and industrial products. We are committed to building long-term relationships with our customers by earning your business every day. With a staff that collectively offers more than 50 years of expertise, our team knows your industry and is able to answer your questions and is ready to help you get the parts and equipment you need. At Dublin with Nelson, our goal is the long-term success of your business. We achieve that goal with a simple commitment, doing things right, one customer at a time. So come by and see us at Dublin with Nelson, 507 Airport Road, or give us a call at 478-272-3585, or stop by and see our website at dublinwithnelson.com.
Allen's Heating and Cooling is your licensed Amana equipment dealer. Trust Allen's Heating and Cooling to install and service your heating and cooling unit. Allen services all brands, and with the purchase of a new Amana, offers a lifetime compressor warranty. Call Sean Clark or any of his friendly staff at Allen's Heating and Cooling, your Amana dealer. Amana lasts and lasts and lasts.
From humble beginnings with a desire to serve the Dudley community, Bank of Dudley has grown to 5 locations, serving Lawrence, Twiggs, and surrounding counties. Serving our community since 1905, the Bank of Dudley is looking forward to its 2nd century of community banking. Drop in today to any of our 5 locations: Jeffersonville, Dudley, East Dublin, Veterans Boulevard, and downtown Dublin. Bank of Dudley, member FDIC, and an equal housing lender.
We'll move forward and talk about, like I said, we lost some key players
Oh, did we
last year. We lost some staff. We lost some of the folks we're mentioning about, and I don't want to forget our chaplain Moy, who Brother West went through some troubling times with the COVID last year also, and meant a lot to the staff here. He meant a lot to the players. Wes is still with us. He battled. He fought like a true Irish. He battled and fought, and stumbled and stammered like I'm doing right now. And he's back in the pulpit from time to time. But we want to put our wishes out there for Brother West.
And we're hoping Brother West is going to be able to occasionally, if not every week, come and address our football team as he's done in the past as our team chaplain. If not, we've got Josh Eccles, who did a phenomenal job of filling in for Brother West last year. But, this COVID thing has really been tough. I'm very concerned right now as the football coach, as a result of the COVIDs. I have reservations or fears or whatever that this football season could actually be more daunting than trying to get through last year's season. And
we played all our games last year.
We were blessed. Not very many teams got to play all 10 games. It's different now. This new variant that we have going around is the number of kids that are testing positive now compared to this time last year with the new variant is extremely high. Schools are having a lot of difficulties right now with students testing positive. We've had a few, no more than we've been in school for a week. Our football team.
We're good now, though.
We're good right now, but our football team, we actually did not get to have practice the first official week, which put us behind everybody else for a week. This is the 2nd year in a row that's happened to us, but we wanted to do something for our kids at the end of summer, so we took them all swimming. That was on a Thursday. On a Saturday night, one of the young men that was with us tested positive. So then we had to quarantine the whole team for the 10-day period. Yep. So we missed that whole next week. And so we're trying to catch up on that.
And you got young guys too.
And we've got, we're young, I remember going into last year, we were obviously concerned from an offensive standpoint and defensively, but on the offensive side of the ball going into last season, people remember we only had one returning starter. That was our quarterback, Markel Mitchell,
Markel Mitchell.
who was very seasoned, obviously leading his team to a state championship. But everybody else was new. Well, we turn around this year and we graduate 8 of the starting offensive returners. But David Folsom, who was obviously huge into our plans, sprained his MCL, so he's out 6 to 8 weeks. So we won't get him back till mid-season. So
Split in.
It's split in and playing defensive back. So
Right.
now we're down to only 2 returning starters on offense. We're a little bit hampered. I think it's not an excuse. We've got to overcome it. But our middle school did not have middle school football last year due to the COVID and those type things. So our 8th grade class is a much smaller group than what we've normally had in numbers in that 8th grade class. So it looks like we're going into the season probably with 49 to 50 football players. And that doesn't sound like a lot. You know, I know our fans are sitting there and they're saying,
You had
Gosh.
a lot out here at spring practice. So.
but it was our middle school was out there with us at the same time. And we've got a huge group of 6th and 7th graders that are wanting to play football. So the numbers look to come
A
back.
lot to look forward to.
But when people, what I learned a long time ago in this coaching thing is if you can get 15 to 20% of the male population playing football, that's an average number. 15% on a program that's pretty good, 20% on a program that, is having success. And that goes everywhere. And when our people look back and say, man, I don't understand, Dublin used to have 100 kids on the football team.
We've only got probably 250 kids, boys, to pick from.
And that's where I'm headed
Go
with
to
this.
high
Our enrollment right now is around 500, a little below 500. So if you've got that, you've got 250 males. Well, if you've got 50 males out playing football, you're at 20%, which is that number that you're going to have in a program that's good. Let's say you've got 1,400 students. Well, that's 700 males. If they've got 20% of their kids on the football team, it's 140. So that's the difference in a school at 500 and a school at 1,400.
Your Parkviews and your Collins Hills and
Well,
Graysons
those guys are dressed, some of them are dressing 200, 9
Right.
through 12. But when you look at them, they got 2,500 students. So that's 1,250 males to choose from.
well, with what we have and what we've done, we've won 3 region championships in a row. We're trying to win this year. We'll obviously try to go for a 4th region championship here at Dublin High School. I believe that has been done
It's been done one time.
maybe.
One time,
I don't remember.
and that was probably 6 or 8 years ago. We'd won 4 in a row. Our kids, we've told them they've got a chance to do something that only one other group of seniors have ever done in the history, 98 years of playing football at Dublin High School. They'll be the only ones that have won 4 region championships in a row. So
And these are some of the things that you have always been very versed at putting into a kid's mind to get them to think this is something that nobody's ever done. One group may have done it. And it's a good selling point. It's a pushing point for your young men.
Everything is about motivation and desire. It doesn't matter if you're working at any business or owning any company or whatever it is. If you have a strong motivation or desire to excel, and in this scenario, this is not an individual goal. This is a team goal. This is something that we can achieve as the 2021 Dublin High School football team that only one other group has ever been able to do. So now don't get me wrong, and we'll talk as we go. it's kind of going to be a major task to make that happen.
Right.
But that's there. So let's do what we can to get that accomplished.
We'll see week 9, 10, 11. As you always say, that's when we need to be playing our best football. We're going to train these guys up and get them where they need to be. And Coach, we'll take a break. We'll have a word with our sponsors.
Hi, I'm Don Carswell with Dublin Chevy Nissan, and we just want you to know that we are open and full of inventory. Whether it's the all-new 2022 Nissan Pathfinder with all-new features including second-row captain seats and available third-row seating, or a numbers-matching 1971 Chevelle SS 454. Whether it's new, certified pre-owned, or classic car you're looking for, we have the widest selection in Middle Georgia. And remember, Don sells cars well, only at Dublin Chevy Nissan.
First Lawrence Bank invites you to experience banking at its best. Whether you have personal or business needs, we're a full-service bank big enough to handle all of your banking needs and small enough to provide you with that personal touch you've grown to expect from a community bank like First Lawrence Bank. Looking forward to your future. That's First Lawrence Bank in Dublin and Dexter, member FDIC.
You've got miles and miles of grass to mow. So you're going to need a machine built to perform, day in and day out, season after season. You're going to need a Gravely, built to mow the distance.
Find your new Gravely mower at Myers Equipment and Supply, 301 North Jefferson in Dublin.
I expected these young men. I've watched them out here in summer a little bit. Coach, there seems to be a different type of excitement in the air than I've seen in some years past. You've had some really veteran teams, and they knew how to take care of business. They knew how to run through a practice. But this year's group, you got some kids that just seems like maybe might be bringing a different dimension to Dublin.
Well, it's a young group. It's an inexperienced group. And we talked yesterday that we, as a coaching staff, have got to have a great year. We're not as talented. The area that I would say that this COVID problem that we've been facing has affected us the most is in our strength and conditioning. Well, we're not as strong as we need to be, and we know that as coaches. Well, you can make up for some strength by being a technician.
Right. Doing
things the proper way, not blocking high, getting on the hip. You can make up for some of those deficiencies if our young men are willing and wanting to soak up what they're being instructed by their coaches is the key to them being successful. We have to have enough maturity level in these young men to know that I've got to do it the way I'm being coached. And if I do, then there's no reason we can't end up with a good football team.
A lot on your
we get to the
coach's
playoffs.
shoulders this year.
There's no question. It's not hard to coach sometimes when you got great talent. You still have to motivate, you still have to push, and you're still working with technique, but sometimes their physical abilities make up for the technique that you need. So this group, we know that it's going to have to be execution and technique for us to be successful.
Yes, like I said, I've watched some of summer practice, watched some of the fall camp, and there's just different type of excitement, it seems like. You're in your 18th, 19th year here?
Starting 20.
Starting your 20th year. It's time for you to get a raise.
Well, I don't know about that, but, when I came here, I was glad to be here, excited to have an opportunity in 2002, and glad to get to the state of Georgia where football is very, very important. They used to laugh, some of my buddies in Tennessee, because coaches in Georgia, teachers in Georgia, make substantially better than the teachers and coaches do in the state of Tennessee. And one of them asked me about it, and I said, well, you got to understand something. In the state of Tennessee, if you had proven that when you had talent, you could coach them and you could be successful, you could stay there forever. In the state of Georgia, they don't care what your talent level is or anything else. They're paying you well, so if you don't win, you got to go. You know, there was a thing this morning in this Georgia High School Football Daily newsletter, and if you're a football fan, you need to look that up and you need to subscribe to it. It's free. It comes to your email first thing every morning about 4:30.
About 4:30 in the morning,
Yeah,
I get it.
and you open it up and there's just all types of information about football all across the state of Georgia, and it's just a phenomenal. Again, it's Georgia High School Football Daily newsletter, and it's just really, really good. But they had a thing, I think it was this morning, and it was the number of coaching jobs that have been open in the state of Georgia for the last 15 years.
Right.
I think this year in the state of Georgia alone, there were 98 changes in head coaches. It's a volatile business.
Well, there's
You
a
know,
sign you were talking about.
You got 450 coaches across the state, and 100 of them changed jobs or were fired last year. So at the end of the day, that's 25%. So to be able to think that you've been able to stay at the same place for 20 years, I feel very, very grateful to have had this opportunity and for my family to be raised here in this school system, because my children that went through it they've been successful. When they've gone to college, they were prepared, and it was just a great opportunity.
Then they've come back to it.
And now they're both
They're
back here
putting it-
working in this system.
They're putting their life back into helping the children here in Dublin, Lawrence County. Coach, yeah, it has been. It's been great the last 20 years for sure, and we want to put another region championship trophy back out in the. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
Citizens Bank of Lawrence County, green and growing, invested in the communities we serve. For consumer loans, commercial loans, mortgage loans, contact us at 272-7775 or log on to cbs-lc.com. Citizens Bank of Lawrence County, located on Hillcrest Parkway and downtown in the Henry Building. Member FDIC and an equal housing lender.
Community Bank of Dublin Lawrence County is here to help with all of your financial needs. Our team knows what it takes to make life easy and convenient, and will help you get set up with our mobile and online banking. We founded Community Bank on common sense banking and a dedication to help people just like you. Our loan officer Gail Rainey and branch manager Amy Thompson know what it takes to make life easy and convenient, and can help you with loans with almost everything, from your automobile, home, land, or any financial goals you have. Come visit us today. Community Bank of Dublin Lawrence County, where common sense banking never goes out of style.
The way the world is today,
Go, 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 go!
things just seem so out of control. That's why the things we can control are so important. That's why we're members of our electric co-op. The whole reason the co-op exists is to bring us the electricity we need. So they look out for us. They invest in the best technology you can get, just to keep the power on. Not because they have to. They actually do it because it's the right thing to do.
In the display case, hopefully this year, with more exciting news. I mean, this is some of the biggest news. We're kind of starting to show off, kind of let folks know kind of how things have been with spring and summer camp, that kind of stuff. But I think the biggest news we've got is outside this back door here. The renovations to the Shamrock Bowl that the board has approved and moved forward with, and I mean, it looks like we could almost play tonight.
Well, it looks that way, and unfortunately now for any of our fans.
Tell us.
Yeah.
Folks are coming in. They're coming in looking. I saw McGrath Keene out here Sunday.
Okay.
Good to see people like
Yep.
the Keene family out here looking. and it looks like you could get out there and play a game, but tell us
Still
where we
there's
are.
still a lot to be done now. We kind of got a late start in getting all of it put together and planned. I think financially, the board all of a sudden realized, hey, we're in a position to do this. This is something that Dr. Williams wanted to do to maintain the legacy of the Shamrock Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I did my letter in our football program this year, and that's never planned. You just sit down and you start writing.
Kind of like we do.
Yeah, and I think the thing that hit me, because our fans will be sitting in that Shamrock Bowl when they get their program and they take a look at it. And I was very fortunate when we built this building here to have a chance to sit down with Mr. Don Lamb, who a lot of people credit with the mastermind plan.
Absolutely,
Working
no
with
doubt.
people in this community. And our people went out and took out personal notes to build the Shamrock Bowl. And I know from talking with Mr. Lamb that his intentions was he wanted the Shamrock Bowl to be, if not the best, one of the best venues to watch high school football in the state of Georgia.
Well, we've always been there, but it's fixing to be better.
Well,
it's fixing to be a showplace.
You have to continue to improve. And when we built this building in '06 and did the brick on the press boxes and the other end, Mr. Lamb came in and we talked, and this was shortly before he passed, probably within a year of his passing. And understanding his passion and what he wanted, when I told him what we were trying to do, there was absolutely no disregard for it. It was, Coach, that's what we want. That's what we need. We want to continue to have the Shamrock Bowl be, if not the best, certainly one of the top stadiums in the state. And it was time for that to happen.
Well, you could see in '61 when the foresight he had to put this facility out here like it is. His dream and desires were to see it to go further as time allowed. And I think you're there.
Yeah, well, it's in a great, they're probably 85% finished, 90%.
I wish
finished.
we could show it on the wall.
Well, I don't want people to see it.
Okay.
I mean, I know we've got people that are driving in and checking on it daily, but we really want them to see the finished product, and it'll be, we were supposed to play at home this Friday night with our scrimmage, and that's where I was really trying to get to with our fans. The stadium was supposed to have been completed on Monday of this week, so we would be able to get a couple of days of practice on it, and then we would be able to play the scrimmage here on Friday night. Due to weather and some things that we've done with the bricking all around the interior slowed the process down a little bit. So it appears right now that they're going to be able to do the final walkthrough, the drop testing to make sure that the padding and everything is safe.
Yeah, explain that a little bit, because folks want to know. It looks like you could play now. You've got to drop a lot of sand out there, and then you've got to have a technician come in and actually
They've got a meter. I don't know the name of the meter.
Right.
But they just walk to different areas across the field and they drop it. Okay, drop this thing, and when it hits the ground, it measures how much give there is to the ground.
This is all for safety.
It's all for safety. And this is, I want to make sure that our people understand that when we did this stadium, there is a cheap way, there's a middle grade way, and then there's the best way, which is for the best safety factors for everyone involved. The cheaper route is you buy the turf, you put the gravel in for drainage, you lay the turf right on top of the gravel, then they come in and they top dress with sand and drag all it in, and then use a black rubber filler. that is the cheapest. I did not say it's not a good product, but now you're falling basically on gravel that has been compacted with rollers and is very hard.
Right.
To the sand. The only cushioning you have at that time is the black rubber pellets, which are nothing more than ground up old tires. If you watch the games, the fields you see that have that, that's the older technology. The problem with that is, on top of it being hard, is you also, the black rubber absorbing the heat. If the plastic, which that's all the grass is plastic, and it gets hot, then the rubber absorbs all the heat. And a field that might be 90 degrees is 135 with the black rubber.
So what did you do? What did the board do?
Okay, the middle level is all the same, okay, except now they've got a green looking pellet that helps reflect a little bit of the light. It's just a green coating that goes around the black rubber, and that lowered the temperature some. What we have come with is we bought it through Shaw Industries. It's the same field that's at Georgia Tech, the same one at Vanderbilt, the same one at Georgia Southern, because there's different companies and different things. What we bought has a pad underneath, so it goes to the gravel. Then we've got a pad that's 3/4 to an inch thick that goes down kind of like carpet in your house. Now the turf is on top of that pad. That helps with that compression when a player's hitting the ground, their head's hitting the ground. And then as opposed to using the rubber and the heat, we upgraded to the next product in the latest line in technology is it's a ground coconut shell. And it absorbs the heat. It does not reflect it, okay? So
never knew that.
All of the studies are saying that will reduce the average temperature on a turf field 30 to 40 degrees. So if it's 90 on the natural grass, you might be playing at 100 on the turf as opposed to 135. And again, that is a huge safety factor for these young men if you're out there on that stuff, or our soccer teams, our band, all of them can practice there now, and you're not worrying about destroying or running down your turf and it not be playable at the end of the year. If you've got a game where it's pouring down rain on Friday night, you're not hurting that field one bit.
How many hours does it saving your coaches from having to get out there and prep, line, mow?
Probably 5 to 6 hours a week. Our fans, for example,
that's
here.
That's valuable coaching time, though.
Well, our fans here for a lot of years, how come y'all don't paint a logo in the middle of the field? Why don't we have a logo? Well, there's 2 reasons. Number one, painting that logo was about an 8-hour project. Number 2, it cost us about $1,000 a week that we played at home. If you played 5 regular season games, that's $5,000. If you played 3 games in the playoffs at home, that's $8,000 we spent on nothing but paint on that logo. Then the paint will actually kill the grass that's under it. So now you get into the middle of the playoffs and it's bare where you've continued to paint over it each week, and you've got a big mud spot right in the middle of your field.
Well, it's like we talked about earlier in the week. That grass is still going to be mighty, mighty green when we play in November, Coach.
Well, let's just hope we get to play in November.
Right. And the logo?
It will be in the middle.
The logo?
And it does not look exactly like that one. You get into all these different issues. Actually, that logo is Notre Dame's logo.
Right.
Okay, and we didn't want to
copyright it.
We cannot copyright it, and we did not want to get into the opportunity of the money that we spend with that logo in the middle of our field and us get a letter from Notre Dame that we need to cut it out
Right.
because we don't have the rights. So we've redesigned our logo to give it a different, very, very similar, but a different look so that the people at Notre Dame.
You're going to have a permanent logo, though.
We certainly hope so. Yes, sir.
Right. Well, I think from what I've heard and understand here, I've seen several folks, including myself. My dad's been out here 2 or 3 times. He's been excited about looking at it, and several folks, I can tell there's excitement in the team. There's a lot of excitement about your renovations. The brickwork, it looks just like an old school college football stadium. I mean, it's I can't wait for the first game where folks can come out here and see it. It is phenomenal. It is gorgeous.
A lot of our players keep saying, Coach, this reminds me of Mercer.
Right.
Of course, they played
when
at
they
Mercer.
played.
So,
oh, yes.
And you know, I've rambled here quite a bit, but I've never got around to one-on-one. Our scrimmage game versus Haralson County this Friday night that was supposed to be in the Shamrock Bowl has been moved to Haralson County, which is Tallapoosa, I think's how it's pronounced.
Might as well say Alabama.
It's a 3.5-hour bus ride. It's going to be an all-day deal, and the game is going to start at 6 p.m., not 7:30. We're going to start the scrimmage at 6.
That'll give us time
make
to
sure
get back
everybody
home.
knows. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and I think that'll be good for just an initial scrimmage game to get some of these young kids on a bus, put them on a long ride, let them see.
They were a little whiny.
Let them
the
see
other day when I told them we were going to make that bus ride. But then again, I pointed it out. Everything is a learning situation that you need to handle. And I told our guys, hey, this is great. What if we have to go to Tryon in the 3rd round of the state playoffs, which is right up next to Chattanooga? I think it's a great opportunity that we're able to get on this bus, travel, stop, get off, have a pregame meal somewhere other than at Dublin High School, get back on the bus, continue to travel on a road site. You know, now I wish we could blink our eyes and be home after the game was over, but that learning experience might pay dividends for us somewhere down the road. Let's hope that we're in here talking about one of those long playoff trips and we say, well, see, good Lord took care of us when we couldn't get the bowl ready for that scrimmage, so we got to practice.
We may have to go to Tryon, we may have to turn around and go down to Brooks County, but I guarantee you when we stop, we're going to have baked chicken and green beans, aren't we?
Well, we're not this trip. And it's not because I didn't want to. It was fast and furious trying to put it together. You know, for our fans, our trip, we're actually going and we're getting off at the Griffin exit. We're cutting through. We're going to do our pregame meal at a Golden Corral there in Noonan, Georgia.
Right.
And then we're going right on up from there through Carrollton.
Up 27 maybe.
That's 27.
Right.
Yeah, we're going in on 27. So it's about a 15-minute longer trip. But our fears are the McDonough, Atlanta, I-20,
right,
all that traffic on a Friday afternoon, and the chances of getting hung up in a wreck are probably a lot greater there than it is getting stopped on 27.
Right,
so
absolutely.
That's going to be our travel plans.
Had a good friend and college roommate that lived up there and used to take that back road a lot to go see him, so I'm very familiar. Coach, we'll take a break. We'll have a word with our sponsors.
The City of Dublin Natural Gas provides the most cost-efficient source of energy available today. So for your home, choose the most natural resource. Safe, clean, efficient. All new subdivisions around the Dublin area have natural gas available. Start reducing your energy bills today with Dublin City Natural Gas Department. Natural gas, the smart choice. Call 277-5048 today and let us help you start saving today.
Since 1999, Steppington has been working to keep you and our community safe. Our mission is to lessen the trauma suffered by individuals who have been abused or assaulted. We provide evaluation in a safe, caring environment to encourage collaboration of services for the benefit of the victim and their non-offending family members. We strive to increase the protections of victims and hold offenders others accountable.
Here at Stepping Stone, you are never alone. If you or someone you know has been a victim of child abuse or sexual assault, please know we are here for help and comfort. We offer a variety of resources to help meet your needs and get you out of difficult situations. If you are in immediate danger, please call 911 or call our fully confidential crisis number at 478-595-8339. You can also reach us at our office at 478-275-9010.
Imagine a life-changing injury. Imagine the fear and unknown. The Houston Clinic Sports Medicine Team, the only physicians in the area with advanced certification in orthopedic sports medicine, treats sports injuries with innovative techniques. The Houston Clinic has helped nearly 1 million athletes live without pain. Imagine getting back in the game. Imagine the best game of your life. The Houston Clinic Sports Medicine Team.
Coach, before I get out of here, we've talked a lot about our coaches and what you're trying to put together this year and our football stadium, which is obviously going to be a showstopper, but I'm never going to get out of here without talking about the kids. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the reasons I do this, is I do it for the kids. We've got some kids coming back this year, and I always like to mention a few names. By the end of the year, I try to mention everybody's, but that's one of the reasons I kind of sit in here and sit on top of that press box on Friday night with Crather Nelson calling the games. I love to call a kid's name out. It's nothing better than a mama to hear it sometime. You got a kid coming in here, Donut's little brother. Aquarius Evans is gonna run start quarterback for you this year. And it just seems like to me, I know the kid, he just brings another dimension. It's almost like he's an option type guy.
He's an athlete that's playing quarterback that has improved weekly on his ability to throw the football and some of those type things. I trust him right now. He's given us no reasons not to trust him. I think he's a junior.
Smart kid.
So he's got the opportunity to play this position, all things staying as they are, as being our quarterback for the next 2 years. We're limited in our backup role right now. Quay Ashley is operating as our backup quarterback. Of course, he's a starting running back.
He's a halfback.
Really well. And then we've got a freshman also that is working with our JV, Micah O'Neal, who's another really good athlete.
He can throw the ball.
He can throw the ball pretty good, and just got so much to learn, again, because all of our 8th graders last year did not get to play middle school football.
Well, you got Jeremiah Green running at fullback.
Jeremiah is, we're hoping
right now
light comes on. Jeremiah, we clocked our 40s about 2 weeks ago. He ran 4.49, 4.51, 4.51. So he's a 4.5 kid in the 40.
At fullback.
At fullback, and weighs about 185 or 190. Now, he needs experience because he does not play at 4.5 right now. But as he plays and gains more confidence, as we progress through this season, we feel like that he could really be a home run hitter at that position, and along with JT Wright and Quay Ashley.
Yeah, well, that brings me to JT, who I've loved to watch the last couple of years. The light has turned on for him, and of course Quay holds that group together back there. This group is fast.
We could run well. Again, there's no track stars, okay, but we have good speed. Our nemesis, if you will, we've got Caleb Hall, a senior, playing center.
Doherty and Wiltshire beside them.
Well, it's Doherty and Desmond Gilbert. Ramonte Doherty and Desmond Gilbert are the guards, and from a physical standpoint, those two young men have all the physical tools you want. They're both in the 6'2", 6'3" range, 225 to 235. Both of them can run.
Physical specimens.
Good
kids.
But we've got to play physical. Okay, they've got to continue. They need to get a little more of that nasty, as I think all of our kids up front do. Dennis Wilcher's at tackle, along with another young man, Drew Rozier, who's the other tackle right now as starters. Dennis is a senior, Drew's a sophomore. Drew's never played football before till he came out in the spring. Very smart kid. But both of those are undersized for what you would want in tackles in the 180 range.
Right.
So they're a little smaller than what you want, but you can make up for it if you're a technician.
You got Folsom out there at split in when he gets well, and I guess
Tyler Wright right now
Antonio Benjamin and Tyler Wright maybe out there.
Those two young men are holding that spot down, and hey, there's not a big drop off. You know, I just hate it because of the experience that David already has.
Right.
So we think both of those young men will do a very, very solid job. It's just how are they going to respond when that first big catch and they get a little nervous during the game. And then tight end, senior Jaquan Willis and who am I trying to say? Cornelius Rozier are two tight ends right now.
And you got John Potter, Hunter Meeks, and Connor Daniel all kicking for you.
Well, Hunter's decided he's not going to be with us, so we're down to John Potter and Connor Daniel.
Okay.
And at the end of the day, we feel very comfortable with those.
Absolutely.
Very much so. Might be the most improved player on our football team right now, might be Connor Daniel. He's come a long, long, long way.
That kid, his work ethic has got him where he is.
Well,
I have watched him. He's out here all the time. He's out here when nobody else is out here.
Yeah, he wants it. He works at it. He's worked hard in the weight room, and now he's continuing to add more distance and a little more strength. And that's good because if we can stay healthy, he still has a year to continue to develop behind Potter as a senior. And this time next year, he should be able to be not just your kicker, but a quality kicker.
Yeah, Potter's made some quality kicks when we absolutely had to have them. So I feel comfortable with
both of those, yes.
With both of those young men. Defensive wise, front four looks like we may run Gilbert and Kelwan Gilmore in the middle, and Wiltshire and Doherty out on the ends.
Correct. And the negative is they're all good football players. The negative is the only one that you don't see starting on the offensive side right now is Kelwan Gilmore.
Right.
So you've got 3 of the 4 are having to go both ways, and that's tough, especially early in the year.
And your linebackers, I think you got a group that, really could go downhill fast. Benjamin, it's your Sam, Jeremiah Green, it's your Mike, and, of course, Junebug Evans, Aquarius Evans, it's your wheel linebacker. Those guys can go downhill quick.
Well, they've all got speed, but they're all inexperienced. It's probably not going to be a great matchup, Nelson, with the group we're going to play this week from Haralson County, because they are a single wing, shotgun, no split ends, everything's in the box, and they're running right at you. But now, most of the football teams that we're going to play are spread teams.
Right.
And those linebackers have to have more speed and agility to play in grass, in space. So from that standpoint, we think what we've got there is a pretty good look. But now, it might not be a good matchup Friday night. We're really anxious and waiting to see how we handle a real smash mouth physical football team.
I think the whole ride up there for them, the getting into the game, the dressing, the getting into the game, the atmosphere, the whole thing is going to be nothing but good for a young team.
Yeah.
And your backfield, of course, you had Folsom, Christian Harvey out there, and Malachi O'Neal at Rover. And your two guys you can count on, free safety, Quay Ashley, and then Jaquan Waters, who can
Jaquan can really be a great addition.
He'll pop you.
He's got to practice harder, got to focus in, but as far as natural ability and desire to come down and hit, he's in great shape. Quay and JT are very experienced back there. Our strong safety position right now, you got Malachi O'Neal, who's a sophomore, and you have Cam Hampton, who's a sophomore. Both
Cameron
of those
ran
kids,
the ball some for us last year.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a few. The area, we just are not too deep in every position. And honest is it just is what it is. Our offensive line, our backups in every one of those positions have an enormous way to go to be able to be state playoff, deep run football team. Our depth is not where it needs to be. Same defensively. You know, we've always had a lot of kids that might start both ways, but their backup, we knew that when we if they needed a rest, we can put so-and-so in on defense and it's not going to be a major drop-off. Or his best backup is on offense, we can put him in there and it's not a big drop-off. There are a couple or three of these positions right now that we're very concerned about the drop-off when their backup comes in.
Well, that you can cure some of that up on this practice field out here behind my shoulder.
We're trying.
You know. Coach, we'll wrap it up. Haralson County this Friday at 6, and then we're going to bring everybody into a newly refurbished Shamrock Bowl, I think, on August 27th.
Correct.
Against
Dodge County, one of Dublin's oldest rivalries.
That's going to be our
right
first
here
game.
In the Shamrock Bowl, and we're starting next week. All of our season tickets, chairback seats, all that stuff's going to be up and running and ready to go.
We'll contact Jefferson Davis, our club president.
No, don't. We will
contact these folks yet.
Our plan is we're going to have them on sale and stuff over at the central office.
Okay.
So everybody will be able to. You get your Century Club membership. You can upgrade. You can get your chairback seating. We've been working on that pretty hard, trying to get it organized because it's been it got out of whack when we had to move stuff around this COVID. And we want to tell you right now, we may have a mistake. If we got a mistake, we're going to make it right, okay? But we just want to, it's easier if our fans are able to report to the
central office,
one place,
right,
and get all that done. And I've just got to coordinate it all with them at the central office.
Okay.
And but we want to make sure we get those out. I hope you'll take advantage of the season ticket package. It's from up front. If you walked up and paid at the gate every game, it's going to be cheaper to buy the season tickets. Walk-up price is $8.
Right.
Season ticket is $7 a game. So you can pay $35 or you can pay $40. So you can save $1 a game by doing the season ticket.
Or you can join the Touchdown Club and come eat with us.
Join the Touchdown Club, come be part of what goes on and all that. And our Touchdown Club will have its first meetings, my understanding, is Monday night.
That's correct.
Next week, which I don't have the date in front of me, I guess that's what, the 16th?
I'm not sure, Coach.
I believe it's the 16th on Monday night, but it's next Monday night. We'd love to have you here. It'll, I guess they usually start those at
6 o'clock,
6 p.m. and
not
then
sure the time this year.
Do all the business prior, and then I'm off the field usually by 6:30. Booster clubs handle their business, and we'll come in and kind of give you what we know about our opponent and answer questions for folks as they have them.
Right. We'll be back with TV 35 next week with possibly, if Brandon will get on, maybe with some highlights from Haralson County.
There we go.
See you next week.
Good morning, folks. I'm John Nichols. I'm General Manager at the newly built Bug House Pest Control office here in Centerville, Georgia on Houston Lake Road, where we've had a number of people, companies that have been involved in trying to get this building up and coming this office ready. And one of those is A+ Flooring and Construction. Kyle Gerard really had a major play in everything that happened with this building to get it to where it is today. Very, very pleased with his work and his professionalism and number one, talking and making sure things are done right, but also as far as examples and of flooring and colors and stuff like that, really made a major difference as far as getting the building built. Very thankful with how it went about and how Kyle was very helpful, answered all the questions that he could. And if he couldn't, then he got back with me and was very timely in making sure that happened. But I just want to give a shout out to A+ Flooring and Construction and tell Kyle, we appreciate you. You did a fantastic job. We're very thankful for our new building.